Are we live?
Look at us. We're in. Look at us go.
Look at us. Look, Dan's here.
Dan is here.
Yes, this is the 605 show, episode 52, and it's a special one because I'm your host, Alana Snyder, but I have the special co-host. Are you going to say Ian or Dan?
I don't know. We'll pick.
You pick. Is he Ian or Dan?
I think you're Dan.
Okay. We'll be Dan today. I don't get my second syllable back yet today.
Yeah, so you'll have to forgive him. He's producing and also co-hosting, so he's going to be kind of messing around like a, too bad you don't have more than two hands.
I know. That's a bummer.
Some people eat with their feet, you know.
I'm not that guy. That's not the move. I don't know. It seems like a risky maneuver.
And we're here today with Roseanne Hofland of the Levitt. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Well, thanks for coming by. I mean, you're in the middle of Levitt Thursday.
We are in the middle of Levitt Thursday. That's the day where we set it all up and we do 4 shows.
Oh, that's crazy. So, yeah, talk about what are you working on today? It's like, walk me the day in the life on a Thursday of the Levitt.
Yes. So today was kind of a fun day on a Thursday because we have sometimes our artists are willing to do outreach in the community.
Oh,
so
cool.
This morning I got to pick up Inez Barletier and we brought her to Whittier Middle School and she did a percussion workshop for the ESL kids this
sweet.
morning, which was
Super
so
cool.
fun, the middle schoolers. And then we took her and she did some media interviews. And meanwhile, the rest of the Levitt staff was all hauling tents and setting them up and Coke coolers. And so I got to miss some of the setup today. But that's the other thing is we have to take all the stuff and our
Oh,
tech
darn, you had to
team
go.
is
You
there.
had to go to air conditioning. That's too bad.
And work with
All the setup and teardown.
Yes.
Everyone's like, oh, there's so much cool stuff. Well,
There's a little of that too.
lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
So I'll get
Cool.
set up today and then we'll be there for 4 shows.
So, do you guys own the tents?
We do.
You do?
Yep.
Sorry,
Yep.
it's just a.
were you
Beer
curious
festival.
about
We
where
own the
they're
tents.
How much are they, huh?
Yeah.
You leasing these tents? What's your
yeah,
term?
yeah. You rent them out or?
Yeah.
Somebody's got a festival.
What's your APR
Yeah,
on
and
that-
we
on
we
that
own
tent?
our lights. We own our lights. We rent
Oh,
our
wow.
sound. That's a fun fact. So we rent sound from our production team, DMM, and they do all sorts of music for all sorts of people all over the world. And so we get some of the top of the line sound equipment, which is why it sounds so good on the lawn.
That do sound good.
There we go. Well, before we get too into the Levitt,
I believe these. Thanks for letting me borrow your.
of course, darling. Dan, Ian, Dan.
Oh, no, never Danny.
No, I didn't say Danny.
Never. Oh,
Danny.
that's an episode. Why not Danny? That's a whole episode.
Why not Danny?
Why not
The
Danny?
Netflix special.
Let's get into
that's
some
your
stuff here.
documentary. Okay, sorry. So people don't get to see you a lot because
No.
you're behind the scenes.
No,
So-
we'll get good with it. What's going on? In the
Yeah,
comments?
how are things? Tell the audience more about you. Like, what are some top facts? Maybe top 3 facts about you.
Top 3 facts about me.
So you work with Think 3D.
Yeah, I do work with Think 3D occasionally.
Yes. What is your title? Tell the people.
Oh, Swiss Army knife is kind of what we jokingly say, but director of operations. So a lot of different stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
And what's a day in the life for you?
a lot of firefighting.
Oh, really?
It's not a bad thing.
This must have involved Vonnie.
No, 50%. We have a team of 8 now, so it's a lot of that. It's the day-to-day stuff.
Oh, and he's in Washington, D.C., by the way. Dan did not kill him for this role, so he's alive and
No,
well.
he's in Washington.
Probably sleeping in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that'd be a lot. That'd be a lot to do to somebody for this.
Okay, so top 3 facts. Give me the top 3.
That's so hard. I don't know.
First things that come to mind.
No.
Where are you
Left-handed.
originally
I'm
from?
left-handed. I'm from California.
You're left-handed. That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Super weird. No, I'm
from
from
California?
California. I moved out to the Midwest early 2010, 2011. Kind of bopped back and forth for a couple of years. And then finally in 2015 made Sioux Falls home. And I've been here ever since. Now it's home. It's like 7 years?
Dang. And you got a boo thing.
I do.
Who's not cute at all. She's adorable.
She's adorable. Shout out to Rebecca.
Shout
See
out.
if she pops up in the comments. She's probably listening.
Well, so what's
I do,
new?
yeah.
What's new in the Think 3D office? Like, tell.
Oh, so much.
Because that's the other thing. Because sometimes people like, I feel like you guys have a really strong brand, but you guys
Yeah.
do so much that sometimes I'll talk to some friends and they're like, so what all do they do?
It's a good question. Let's get into it.
Yes.
So, for those that don't know, we do organizational development and culture coaching. So, like, we don't like to describe ourselves as consultants, but we start there, and then we actually train people on skills leadership development, organizational development, helping them elevate their culture, communication skills, things like that. So we do that through through in-person training, sometimes virtual training, like via Zoom and stuff like that. We're building an online product that we'll be launching later this year.
Oh, awesome.
Which is like basically e-learning, like on-demand e-learning that organizations or individuals at some point, we're going to start with businesses and then see if we can't break into selling it to just individuals, but go through our leadership development programming, culture, engagement, communication, all that stuff to help people with retention, employee development, a ton of stuff that's super relevant right now.
Awesome.
So that's what we do. And then we also have Thinker Networks, which is this. I'm just going to cycle through all the shots. This studio and a few other studios. We actually have 2 other spaces we use. Team of 3 over there now.
Wow.
It's like a full-time team of 3.
Yeah, you guys are blowing up.
Yeah. Thinker actually started out, it was funny, Roseanne remembers the Levitt in Your Living Room series. Shameless plug for Levitt in Your Living Room.
That was done very well.
We had a good time.
say.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that. 'cause
Especially for being like one of the first things like that, like locally, like you guys kind of killed it. So.
Thank you.
And Dan's the magic. He's the magician behind Levitt in Your Living Room. Take one.
It was nuts how we figured that out.
Yes.
I don't know how we figured that out, but we did that. So that's where we started. We started with me and way crappier gear than this, and just like a couple of trash lights. Like it's like so. Looking back on it, it's so funny how we started it. And then now we have 3 full-time video crew. Wow. They're amazingly creative. Like I was even just today, like talking with one of them. I was like, "Hey, I need a 30-second spot for this thing. We weren't prepared to have to deliver," and it was like 15 minutes. He put something together that was awesome. I was like, "This is so nice. It's so nice to have that kind of team." So
Right.
yeah, they're going well because being a company that relies entirely on IP, everything we do is content. So like we have to make content consistently. So that's why we have such a big video
Yeah, how
team.
do you guys stay like, I guess, motivated if it's your everyday kind of back to back to back? Like how do you take breaks, or do you go do something to kind of rejuvenate what's going on? Because sometimes, especially when it's your job, I mean, other people are probably like, "Oh, that sounds fun," but if you're constantly doing it, you kind of get drained. You know,
That's a good question because it's a different type of like being in front of people and like training or like coaching and like being up. Like Vonnie and Tammy are in DC this week. I've had to take all of our LOT, which is Leaders Tomorrow. Shameless plug for that too.
Really good program.
We're gonna run it a room. It's a different like to train and be in front of people. It is a thing, but we love it. Like this is stuff that I wouldn't do. I've done other stuff in the past where it's either been like there's more growth faster, right? You can climb a ladder to get to a different position, or you could get more money faster. But it's like the stuff that we're doing now is truly like feels like this is the right spot for all of us. So we absolutely love what we do, and the content that we deliver is so close to who we are. Like the content that we speak on and share on is like stuff that we believe firmly. So when we're sharing it, it just it feels good. It's not as exhausting as there are days where it's a lot, but we also try to balance and integrate stuff pretty well. We don't believe in work-life balance. We kind of believe in work-life integration.
Do people understand that though? Because sometimes people hire you obviously for you guys, but then once they like kind of start to see it, they want to take control and be like, "Well, no, do it this way," and then you're like, "Well, you hired me for a reason."
It depends. Like, so one of our non-negotiables with clients, any client that we work with, is just because you pay us doesn't mean we work for you. So like every client we work with at Think 3D knows, okay, if we're working with Think 3D, part of what we're doing is getting they're going to hold us accountable. And so like if we know that something's going to work or not work, and we're like, "Hey, you should do this or not do this," and it doesn't happen, that's on you guys. Like you guys have to have some accountability, some engagement in there. So sometimes it does. But like we also tell people too, we don't just come in and tell you what to do. Like we're not consultants. We're not just going to walk in and be like, "Draw a 2x2," and then be like, this is what you're doing wrong. See ya. Like we actually work with, like our clients stick around for, I think our average when I just did the math was like almost 3 years, like 2.8 years technically to date, which like we cycle people through kind of on a 2 to 3 year basis because it takes time. Like implementing a really robust organizational culture takes time.
Do you have any questions do you need their help?
I think
from
we're
the Levitt?
okay right now, but I'll call you, Dan. I know your
Keep us in
number.
mind. You know where to find me.
Wait till August when you're all really tired and like,
Hey, yeah.
like it's falling apart. Help me.
Everyone's got heat stroke.
I know.
Chafing. We were talking about
Don't wish this on us. Don't put this on us.
Just keep hydrating. That's all you got to do.
Nice.
Well, we have the 605 Summer Classic this weekend.
We do.
Promo.
Airborne.
That is the 605 magazine annual, 13th annual this year, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
I'm so old.
Who's who's coming out to play? What are we doing?
So it's noon. It's this Saturday, and it's noon to 4 p.m. And it's at 8th and Railroad. We're returning to 8th and Railroad, which I'm really pumped about.
Yeah.
Because that was our original location, and it's 20 South Dakota breweries for the beer tasting. But you don't have to do the beer tasting. It's $10 to enter for general admission, $40 to do the all-you-can taste. Drink responsibly, please. We'll have plenty of water, so stay hydrated.
It's gonna be hot.
It is going to be hot. It's actually going to be 80, which is sad that's kind of cool
Not
out
too
for.
bad. Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, that
Wasn't it
sounds like a
supposed to rain
pleasant
though?
day.
Like it was gonna rain.
was
and
gonna,
that
like-
was like a whole thing.
There was a light chance. I haven't checked. Knock on wood. And then we're going to have the aerial performers. So they're going to be like getting busy dancing while the Fine Mess is a local band. They're really good.
Nice.
They're headlining, and then DJ Chris Hens is going to tear it up.
DJ.
And of course,
Hens.
it's Chris Hens, so from Pinnacle Productions. So he's like going from something in the morning to this, and then
then
going to a
something at a
wedding, and
wedding.
then probably an event, and then I don't think he sleeps.
Quick shout out to Chris Hintz.
He works really hard.
That man is a machine,
He really is.
and I don't know what fuels him and his team, but like they're always going.
Probably energy drinks. Usually they have an energy drink in their hand.
I don't know. Maybe we can hook them up with like a deal to the Avera Heart Hospital too, the cardiology.
Oh, maybe.
You know, they probably need it.
Sponsored by. They're like,
Those guys are always running and they always pull it off.
oh yeah,
Like,
for
it's
sure.
always an amazing job.
That's you can always tell too when it's like an event by them. You're like, this is Pinnacle, I bet,
Pinnacle.
because it's dope and the
'Cause
music's
everything's cool.
Yeah, and the music's actually awesome. And then usually then Thad shows up 20 seconds later because Thad's everywhere.
That do be everywhere.
Hey, shout out to Thad. But anyways, so come join us. You can get tickets online, 605summerclassic.com, or there'll be plenty at the gate. But we've actually sold the most we've ever sold for pre-sale. So
Nice.
But bring an umbrella, bring sunscreen, bring a little mister,
Please.
bring all the things you can think of. Lawn chair.
There will be a tent.
Yes,
You can
giant
drink
tent.
beer in the tent.
You can hide there if it starts to sprinkle.
Yeah. Let's do that. I
But
love it.
now, also a bunch of music's going on at the Levitt. So we're going to talk more details on that. Can you did you get the scrolls?
They're up.
They're up.
They're up.
Okay, so we have all the upcoming shows that are now scrolling on your screen. But yeah, how big is your staff?
There are 3 of us that are full-time,
3 of you.
1 part-time.
Did not expect that number.
Yeah. And then we pull on some interns. We pull on a lot of seasonal production help, independent contractor folks too. So it grows over the summer, but
That is a big production for 3 full-time people.
you betcha.
Not like I have
Do
to
a
tell you
ton.
that.
You guys do a lot. Yeah.
Holy moly, well, good for you guys. So you can't tell that.
well, good. Yeah. We
So I think
hide it
people
well.
People hear Levitt and like they see the scope of it and
Yeah.
they're just like, it must be a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, as I said, we bring on others to help us with the production that happens. So we work with DMM Systems, which does all our lights and sounds. We work with Asset Protection Services, which does all of our like security. We work with JJ's, who does all of our beverages. So there's a lot of people that come in to supplement to make it happen because yeah, it is. It's like throwing a festival 50 times a summer.
Well, the cool part is it's like you guys are doing such awesome work and bringing in like all that music for free and everything. So it's probably easier to keep your partners because it's like fun. It's really impacting the community and
It's a massive amount of brand recognition too.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, I mean, it's such a positive space. Like, it's great to be out there and to just be so accessible to the community. I mean, that's part of the Levitt model, right? Is that you can come downtown anytime on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night, all summer long, there's going to be free music here.
Yep.
And I think that there's real value in that because often in the arts, we make it hard to get there, to figure out what's going on. Like you don't need to know. You can just drop in. You can just be walking by and, hey, I'm in the middle of a concert. That's cool.
Right.
So, yeah. So people feed off that energy.
And then
I
if you
think
got
our
the time
partners
wrong, you
like
can
it.
go get a coffee or a beer and then come back and then there's probably gonna be music.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's fun.
It's a whole communal thing.
Yeah. What kind of internships do you have? Like, is it like all event based or?
So this year we have a marketing intern who's been very helpful, just getting the word out on all of these fine concert activities. We also this year have pulled together a team of young people that are called our youth activation team, who are working with us on some different social media and again community engagement efforts, and just kind of being there to help promote the lawn to younger audiences too. So that's what we got this year. It evolves year to year, so keep an eye out for internships, people who are interested.
Yeah.
I think it'll always be a part of the Levitt,
Love that.
but we'll see. It'll evolve, I'm sure.
So talk through this upcoming weekend and going into next week too, because we'll post kind of clips
Sure.
So the bigger shows going into July. Kind of start with this weekend and go from there.
Okay, I'll do my best to remember it all.
Well, here, I have some of them.
She's got a cheat sheet. I love that. I know this weekend for sure. So tonight we've got Inez Barletier. She is a Haitian artist based out of Miami. So she's going to do a set for like all ages tonight. And then tomorrow morning she does one that is called Haiti Songs and Stories from Haiti, which is specific to like little guys, to youth and children, which will be super fun. So she's doing a couple shows for us. Friday night, we have the Brian Hannigan Quintet. So that's like local jazz musicians, really high energy, fun jazz. And then Saturday night, we had to do a little bit of a switcheroo. We were originally having an international band come in from Venezuela. Something went wrong in that process of getting here.
Oh, no.
But we were super lucky. Denim and his band have stepped in for us on Saturday. So that'll be a super fun hip hop R&B show. Yeah. And then the other thing we're kind of gearing up for big time in July is Skate is coming up, which is going to be huge for us. So we're partnering with a ton of different folks, the Smithsonian, Lemelson Center for Invention and Innovation. That's a mouthful. But it's part of the American History Museum. They're part of this. The USA skateboarding team is a part of this. So we're going to have Olympians. We're going to have Paralympians. We're going to have the inventor of Tony Hawk skateboards. We're going to have all these people from the Smithsonian coming, panel discussions, mobile skate parks, 5 different concerts, a vendor area. Like it's going to be a big festival happening July 7th through 9th here in Sioux Falls. And then we're also taking it to Pine Ridge, South Dakota, and doing a sort of a condensed version of it on July 5th.
It's going to be awesome. Cool. There's a cool graphic we got up right now on the screen.
Yes.
Who was the artist that did that? You'd mentioned it.
Les Otten. He works with the Sioux Falls Skate Park Association.
It's all of that. I want to say it's like the same imagery that's done, like, well, because Corey Gerlach of the Breaks is into that.
Yes,
scene,
absolutely.
And, like, it's the same branding that they have on all their stuff, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
like, it's
and
just
actually,
super good content.
Corey's going to be part of it too. He's going to be DJing throughout the festival too.
That.
So
we got a photo. There's we got it looks like Rodney Mullen and Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
At a former Skate event. This is like legit.
It is.
This is a big deal. I was talking to somebody, I forget who I was talking to, but they're talking about the musicians, like some of the jazz musicians that'll be there.
Yeah.
That like these are some of the best in the world.
Exactly.
Like there's somebody in Sioux Falls, and again, it's somebody who was name dropping somebody who was name dropping somebody. So I don't remember who it was, but they were like, this person who's the best in Sioux Falls was like nervous that plays with our symphony was like, I'm nervous to play with these people.
Well, it's the Smithsonian Jazz Masterworks Orchestra. Okay, so the Smithsonian has their own jazz orchestra that preserves jazz as an American art form, right?
Yep.
And so they pull in different jazz musicians from throughout the country. Charlie Young is one of the musicians who'll be with us. He leads the jazz education program at Howard University. And so, I mean, these are top of the line artists. So they're kicking things off. And then it's a wide variety of music too. So we'll have Dessa doing hip hop with us.
I love Dessa.
Yes. And then we have Meet Me at the Altar, which is this up and coming like pop punk all female group.
Fun.
So it's like next generation punk, right? For the skateboarders of now. So
the new Avrils.
Yes. But it's going to be a really fun weekend.
That's going to be amazing. Yeah, our local skate association, like they're killing it. Was it Les, Alex, and Walter and all those guys?
Yes.
I was just in Spoken Sport looking at bikes, and they had like a whole little section for that because I feel like it's like really caught on, especially there's like the all girls skate.
Yes.
Is it
the Belladonnas
club or what would you say? But killing it.
Yeah. They've been working with us very closely on this project, and that's one of the major reasons that we sort of said, this is the time to do this in Sioux Falls, having the connections that we did, and just knowing there was this building momentum around building a state-of-the-art skate park, which we've needed for a long time, and now we finally get it. And so we're hoping this will be a way
And this
to
has been years of them busting their
Yes. Way to educate the community on sort of the value of skateboarding, what it brings to a culture in a community too, is what this program is all about. It's the 8th one that's been done in the world. Wow. And it will be the biggest one that they've ever done. They've never done a multi-day festival like this before. So it's going to be exciting.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
We do so much cool stuff.
We do.
In Sioux Falls. Think about just like the fact
Look
that
at us.
Look at us. Who'd have thought? That's right. South Dakota.
Syaux Falls.
South Dakota. Take that.
Take that, world.
I'm from California. And people hear you're from California. Like,
get it.
Oh
You
my
said
God,
that
are you
earlier.
from like LA? And I'm like, no, I grew up in a dirty town, like not a cool place, like just not a good, like there's just not a ton of good stuff going on there. But like we have a Levitt shell for one, and then now doing the 8th biggest like skate festival. It's massive. It's cool stuff. People don't realize there's a lot of cool stuff happening.
I know. I'm gonna stop
Don't sleep
by.
on South Dakota.
What's the date? Do you know the date on the Rayfeld's skate art show?
Yes, so they are going to do an opening on First Friday. So July 1st. That's another portion of this. So we'll have an entire art alley. We'll have working artists doing like giant mural art throughout the festival weekend.
That gives me such a boner.
Public art, screen printing, all of the things.
This is when my credit card's like, no, Alana, no, not again, not again.
Yes, well, and if you need to use that credit card, so the Skate Deck Art Show, Rayfelds is hosting it. I think they're going to have like 70 local artists who have all created custom art on boards.
Don't tell me that.
And if you purchase one, most of the proceeds, the artists get to elect, but most of them are donating a good chunk of it to the Sioux Falls Skate Park Association. So it's going to be very cool. I've seen a couple of the boards so far, and they're fabulous. We're already vying for which one we all want.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the last ones are always awesome. And then the last time they did it was at 8th and Railroad, outside of Rug and Relic, and I got a Mark Wagner.
Nice.
I love that stuff.
I
Okay,
just
sorry.
I just think you guys should do more.
Yeah,
You think?
try harder.
We'll add another element, maybe. Yeah.
I'm just looking at this list, and it's like all this amazing stuff, and I'm like, you know what? No,
Kick it up a notch.
Yeah, whenever we have
Stop
like our
holding
annual
back.
meeting, we'll like have a coffee, and she's like, and then we have this, and then we have this.
Yeah, this is one of the longest scripts we've ever had. So thanks.
Well, yeah, we do. We throw 50 parties plus an skate this summer. So
I know,
it's
just
it's
a good giant
time.
festival. So for people who have not made it, or maybe only made it to one and kind of like stopped by and like left, name a couple of things that people might not know that they can do. Like, for example, I don't know if people know they can like rent lawn chairs or like different elements of it.
Yes. So the renting lawn chairs is a good one. So if you didn't bring a chair, you didn't bring a blanket, you can rent a chair from us for $5, and that all goes towards the nonprofit keeping the music free, which is really great. The other sort of like pro secret I like to tell people, well, a couple things. There's a happy hour that happens at the Levitt. So we always advertise the lawn opens at 6:30, music starts at 7. So if you come at 6:30, like, and if you go to the bar before music starts, there's $1 off drinks. So come early, get your seat early. And then also Thursdays, like we have concerts every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, but Friday and Saturday are typically our more busy days. Thursdays, we have some dynamo artists that come through on those days. I mean, because I think routing is a little bit easier, and just that's how it works out. So if you want kind of an experience where you can stretch out a little bit more and hear these really top of the line artists, consider a Thursday.
I like that.
Yep.
I like that idea. Quickly for the people listening, because I think it'd be interesting to plug this. The Friends of Levitt thing. How do people get into that? And then what do they have to do to be able to donate enough to get access to that? Because I think it's a really cool I know this much about it. I've heard of and I know that there's like certain benefits that people get.
Yep.
So what is that whole thing about?
Yes. So we are a nonprofit organization, right? All the music is free. We have to fundraise to make that happen. We do corporate donors, but we also have the Friends of Levitt sort of individual giving program. So in addition to like the buckets you see us just pass around on the lawn, if you want to donate at a level of $100 or above, there's certain benefits that come with that. So like our $100 donors get a lawn chair every time they come to the lawn. We give them, a reusable pass so they can just have their chair throughout the summer, as well as a few other things. There's drink tickets involved with certain levels of membership, T-shirts, that kind of stuff, just little goodies we can give you. And thank you for your support. So
Awesome.
yeah, $100 and up.
And
like it.
that's not that much.
Yeah.
No.
All of a sudden, my purse is like, no, not again.
not
She's talking about spending more money.
It's for a good cause.
No,
Alana.
I mean, at least You know what? I'll hold the skate. No, wait, the skateboard could be for good things too.
Yeah.
So true.
It's all a good cause.
Giving
It's
back.
like you're going down, critical.
Back to the community. Bad news.
So one thing that I thought was kind of interesting. So you have all these different genres, and that's what you're really kind of known for too, and celebrating different cultures. How do you guys like get like a calendar? Like I always love the planning process. Do you go every other's like a different genre, or how do you balance it?
It is like a crazy
because like you said, you have to base it off of
cube
routing.
while we're blind behind our back a little bit, just piecing it all together. We start in the fall every year, and we know that again we're after sort of these different genres. We want to make sure that our music is reflecting different musical tastes and different personalities and people up on the stage. And so we have like a big board, and as we're booking the artists, usually we'll print off a little picture of them just to like trigger our memory and okay, this is who's fitting in here. This is what this genre is looking like.
So it's like a
This
serial killer
is-
movie where they have like the like yarn and they're like, oh no, what does that mean?
So who's Charlie? So who's Charlie Day in that meme of like Charlie being like,
Right?
he's got the yarn all over him?
It's probably me. It's probably me.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
I could also see
That's
like
all right.
maybe like a little bit of like Nancy.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
Depends on the hour. We all have our Charlie moments.
I think that's true.
And then similarly, there's a lot of sticky notes on calendars too, and things that move around and shift as people route, and it's a big puzzle. But we make it happen. And I mean, there's so many great artists out there. We can figure it out every year. We go to national booking conferences. We accept submissions on our website. We're kind of looking at what other Levitts have done before, and we have a network of 8 other venues that
You
we
guys
can
like
turn
spy
to.
on them? Like you show up with like a trench coat and like look what
Yeah.
the other Levitts are doing.
Can I have
and you're
your
like,
brochure next year?
Do you have any assets?
Yes. But occasionally there are bands that'll route, they'll go from Dayton to us, or if we reach out and we say, hey, we really need, an Afro-Cuban band. Who have you had? Who's been successful?
Cool.
They'll throw some names our way. And so that's how we do it.
What have you noticed since the Levitt? Have you noticed any certain like a wave going on with different change in downtown since you guys kind of started?
Well, I mean, everything around the Levitt is building and is growing. And there's just like, right to the north of us, we're going to be getting an accessible playground and an ice ribbon.
Oh,
Directly
sweet.
to the west of us is the Sioux Steel development. Just down the street is
Just
Sharapa.
a small development. Oh, and Sharapa's
mean-
super small too.
Huge development.
I call it Sharapa Land.
Yeah. And that's part of the goal. Like every time they choose a city to put a Levitt in, they see the potential of an underutilized public space that they say, okay, if we put some resource here and we make this an art space, what might happen in terms of business development, economic development, community development around that. So
You know what's nuts too is like that was planned in like '09.
yeah.
Like the first pitches to have, and I didn't know this, to have like Levitt stuff brought down here was like '09. So somebody had some
Yeah. It was 12 years in the making.
vision.
Yes. And I mean, it's a
super
collaboration
cool.
between
A
the
vision.
city. Yeah.
How many accents is that today? I don't know. I don't even know what that one was.
I need more coffee is the weird part. As I like fall asleep. I'm like, oh my
That's
gosh.
good news. This is an interesting one. I like this question you have down here, Lana.
Hey, thanks.
Who would be your dream catch? I've always curious about this. Like, who do you want to see play at the Levitt?
Well-
who would be your dream band to like play the Levitt?
Yeah, so we ask this of our like volunteers every time we do our volunteer
Yeah.
training, and we go around. We say like,
And
okay,
why
if money,
specifically Scott
if-
Stapp from Creed?
right?
Yes. It's good to be king.
Yes.
Can you take? Sorry.
Got to put it in the universe. See what
him
happens.
him and Eddie Vedder end every word with a vowel.
I'm going to Daughtry. Sorry to cut. But I was like, I'm over. It's like the same kind of like genre where like,
Yeah.
can you imagine getting them all in a room and all just going to town?
Doesn't matter what the word is. It ends with a
sorry, keep going.
So good.
Why doesn't Daughtry just stop? Is he
never
has a
stop.
residency now somewhere? Is he like doing something like?
I have no idea. All I know is I love it because I was in Vegas at Tao eating, and I thought I saw Daughtry across the room, so I kept I kept sending him drinks.
It was just the bartender.
And then we, whenever he'd get the drink, we kept looking at each other and would raise our glass
no.
and be like, and nod. And then I went to the bathroom as I got closer, clearly not Daughtry. And then he's like, wait, they said you think I'm Daughtry? Do you think I get in the clubs? And I was like, shut up.
I just saw like a TikTok on like Barstool or something like that, like where this girl's like, I thought I met Morgan Wallen last night, and it's just some dude with a mullet. Like it's just some random guy.
Anyway, so
Not
if
Daughtry.
you
Sorry,
could
Roseanne.
For me, my answer, I'd love to see Lizzo on the stage. She'd be awesome.
Man, it would be lovely if Lizzo could have come to Sioux Falls at some point in the last, I would say like maybe 5 years before she really got big.
right?
Wouldn't that?
Like
Yeah.
when I thought $10,000 was too much.
Yeah.
And I
This is
said
me,
no.
This is me looking. This is me looking at you for
Right.
the Lizzo thing.
And then the next year she went up to 20,000. I'm like, who is this?
And now,
And then the next year I'm
forget
like,
about
okay.
it forever. Yeah.
What if we find out later that this whole like Lizzo's like thing was like she does like a VH1 behind the music, and she's like, yeah, this one lady from Sioux Falls told me that 10,000 was too much, and so I doubled down on my music career, and like it turns out we actually have you to thank.
Oh my
You were
gosh.
the launch pad.
I don't know why I get so mad when she says she's from Detroit, which I get she is, but like she became famous when she was in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
It's like give the Midwest people what we need, you know?
Yeah.
So you know what? Bring
Lizzo
her,
would be
bring
great.
her here.
Bring her
Lizzo
here.
would be
Bring
a
her
great.
Bring her home. Well, kind of home.
Really. What about you, Alana?
Well, oh yeah, okay. So, and the other thing too because you know sometimes when you hear a certain song live, whether you know it or not, you like always like remember it and like you hear it and you're like, that was a beautiful moment. What was like a band that you saw and or a certain song that you were like you like listen to it all the time still?
Oh, I don't know if there's any that I
That's a
listen
good
to all the time still.
Well, I mean,
One-
like you hear it and you're like, that was a badass concert.
yeah. Well, like memory wise, our first year when we had Brûlée, that was just like sense memory, like just huge. And everybody was so positive and together. I mean, that if I think about like distinctive memories, not only it was just so overwhelming, the whole experience. Like I'm like, okay. I also respond to just the really high energy groups too. So like last year we had Pert Near Sandstone, and they had like a guy who was doing foot percussion through the whole thing, like tapping as a percussionist.
Work
right?
on your feet stuff.
Yes. So I
will
love
not.
that. This year I'm super pumped for Lemon Bucket Orchestra. They're a Canadian band, but they're
They sound
based on
Canadian.
Eastern European guerrilla folk, rock, punk,
I think
crazy.
I remember, weren't they on the second or the third iteration, I would suppose,
of Levitt in your living room.
Okay.
Yep, yep. And it's like a 15
You guys finish
piece
each other's
band.
sandwiches.
Such a dork thing to say. You been watching 90s movies all days or what?
Right over there.
Lemon Bucket Orchestra would be interesting.
Yes, they're going to be really
I
fun.
think like the Corey and the Fireflies one for me.
Yeah.
Just because it was like a local band and like it was just big. It was like I still think it was one of the biggest ones.
It was.
I just
It
think
was like
that
the
the
biggest.
just sheer magnitude of it.
Yeah.
You know, whether
And-
you're a Firefly.
And you know he
fan or
like got
not.
off stage and he's like, I still got it.
He still
Like,
got
with
it.
his like red sunglasses,
Yeah.
like looking in the mirror.
And they're always red.
so
they're not
fun.
transitions. They're just that. They're just that color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well,
No
and he's coming
shoes in
back.
sight, that
He
guy.
is? No, yeah, coming back this year. So is Brûlée.
Perfect.
So those two will be back if
great.
you want to
see
relive.
Brûlée.
Like,
When's Brûlée?
We had some really good
July
artists.
30th.
Yeah.
Come early.
I'm really
It's gonna be
excited to see
busy.
some of those guys come that we did for the first couple of seasons of
Yep.
the Living Room series coming to the stage.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we got quite a few of them last year, and now we're getting,
Yeah.
I think, the majority of the remainder that we couldn't get last year. So it's coming back. People are touring again.
I just realized that this was supposed to be like a question game, and we're just like asking.
We're just chatting through it. We're just like,
I saw the highlight, and I'm like, okay, well,
Levitt 411.
you know, okay. Well, here's one that
Let's-
that I'm very interested in because of like the classic stuff that I've done. How do you deal with the crazy weather, and how do you deal with the different conditions, and how do you stay freaking sane when the shows go awry?
Oh, man.
Because that is like a flood of emotions when that happens.
Yep. Yes. Like weather is our constant companion, whether we like it or not at the Levitt. Yeah, it's a good sort of like reminder that one needs to try to seek like inner peace and just like calm through a situation because you can't control it.
Do you have
right?
meditation apps?
Like I don't.
I thought you said medication apps. And I was like, oh, wow, it's pretty straightforward.
No, but we are like constantly like I mean speed dial weather service on our phones, looking
Yeah.
at and 12 different people have a different radar on their phone and have an opinion about how we should proceed, and so that is always stressful. It does not stop being stressful. The weather.
You know what's my
piece.
favorite?
Yeah.
Is when people walk up to you when you're already mentally trying to like stay sane and smile, and they go, "Hey, do you think it's gonna rain?"
Yeah.
And you go,
Yeah. Yeah. We get a lot of that. Or
it's like a guy
is
in,
the
like-
show still on tonight? When there is like weather predicted, I'm like, look at the website, look at the Facebook. We will let you know. if
Or
it's
my
not.
favorite too
We
is when they
will.
stand next to you like this and they go, looks like it's gonna thunderstorm.
It's always a dude in like khaki shorts and New Balance. Like he's just sitting there. Oh, yeah. Smells like rain. Yeah.
I smell the dew
Oh, yeah. It's some weird stuff.
of the upcoming tornado.
Why? Why is he? Why does he have an accent?
I don't know.
You got to have an accent to
Everybody
steal
does.
stuff from another Levitt. You got to have
Right.
an accent to discuss the weather.
Correct.
the weather.
The
Oh my
weather.
gosh. Well,
All right.
okay, aside from just the music, what has been one of your top memories?
Aside from the music.
Memories. Like, was there ever like something like super random or like cute or like emotional or like?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Because the people watching is also its own
getting to know the
entertainment.
people is what it's all about, right? At the Levitt. So that's probably my most sort of like distinctive and, the piece that kind of keeps you going through the hard days, right? So like what's cool about the Levitt is it's more accessible than other spaces are. So like, for example, we have a ton of people who utilize wheelchairs who come to the Levitt very regularly and don't come to a lot of art spaces regularly because they can go sit wherever they want, right? It's just this big open field. And so getting to know some of those folks and how impactful this has been for them is pretty cool.
I just have to imagine there's not a lot of opportunities
Yeah.
for somebody who's like relies on a wheelchair for transportation all the time to like go somewhere.
And to, again, sit wherever you want. You can move over there if your friends are over here or over here versus like this is the 2 spots in the theater where you can be, right?
Right.
So that's really cool. In our first year, we also had a decent amount of, there was one gentleman who was homeless who came to like literally every single show and sat on the same rock for every single show. And like, just like that became his rock and his place. And we were, able to help
label
him
it.
out with some stuff. I mean, I intend to.
Or put a reserve sign.
Yeah, maybe you want to invest in a plaque. Like,
Hey!
get that credit card out.
Bust out that credit card.
Yes, but that's the kind of stuff that we remember.
You should
and
do
we
that.
love.
The entire lawn's gonna be plaques.
You know what
because
I like?
if you open that up,
Those like bronze signs that are like the casted when you go to like the state memorials, like in this day and like blah blah blah. Like we should get one like that. And this is for this gentleman here.
Yeah.
beautiful. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, my friend Ryan Beatty, he's awesome, and he's in a wheelchair, and he goes to a lot of events. And quietest dude, at least he is to me, and he's always with his mom, and I've known them for a long time. And I was like, I haven't seen you guys at a sports event in a while. And she's like looks at him. She's like, well, Ryan here has a very bad temper when it comes to sports. And he's like, Mom. I was like, oh, Ryan Beatty of all people.
Well, he is a Levitt regular. I can tell you that. Oh, yes. They come to just about every concert.
Yeah, I was going to say, he probably isn't swearing at anyone at the Levitt, hopefully.
Yeah. Nope, he loves it. They both
There's
love
nobody
it.
making bad calls at the Levitt. You're gonna heckle somebody off stage. I mean, it's not like
Love it all.
It's not like there's
That's
a
what she
ref.
calls it. She's like, thunder. He's like, you son of a... Oh, my gosh. Well, anything else, Dan, that you want to ask Roseanne? Or how you feeling?
I think we talked a little bit about the pivot during COVID.
Yeah.
I think we did. I mean, I can speak a little bit of that.
Yeah, you
'cause
can.
I was there.
What'd you think?
It was fun.
Yeah.
We were figuring a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
So, like, people that don't know, like, context, like, so Levitt, like, Vonnie was involved at Levitt at that point.
Yeah.
Obviously, me working with Vonnie and Tammy at Think 3D, like, our business being fairly in person, we had started to delve into live streaming content, things like that for us, just a little bit. And then when you guys were like, we have to put on concerts somehow, and we did the Levitt in Your Living Room series, and we just figured that out, and that was cool.
And it continues in its own way now. We've sort of evolved
Yeah.
it, but we're working with South Dakota Public Broadcasting now. And that was sort of the thing that helped us to go, okay, digital. We need to think about this and we need to invest in it and go there. And so now every single concert
Now they
is
have
live
people
streamed.
that know what they're doing.
We have like a television station, a little one in the back of our shell, and 2 camera operators for every single show. And then they take some of that footage and they put it on SDPB into different programs. Both
That's just so cool to see it
online
evolve like that,
TV.
just from an idea.
Yeah, I'll start with Dan.
It all
Serious.
started
No, it
with Dan.
Oh, it almost didn't make it because of Dan. Is what had happened.
But we got there.
We made it. No,
We got there.
we did learn a lot. It was a good time.
Well, everybody was like the whole music industry had to go. What is this streaming thing that we must learn to do?
Well, I had to go back to it. It was cool because that evolved your company.
Yeah.
Because you guys, like you said, like pretty much it was internal until Levitt, and then
Well, and like that was one of the first ones. Like it was you guys, and then a bunch of other organizations and like clients, and we actually did the math. Like I think we reached we reached almost people with everything we did with Levitt, with everyone else that we were doing content for. We reached a lot of people.
did you reach the? I was gonna say, did you reach the lead singer of Creed?
Scott Stapp. I tried. He was unavailable.
I'm kind of concerned you know his whole name.
Scott Stapp. Everyone knows Scott Stapp.
Did you know that?
No, sorry.
Oh, did I ever tell you my family always goes to karaoke whenever we travel? And we went to Cabo.
Does Al wear a scarf
Of course he does.
when he does karaoke?
He never dresses
He
for
has
the
a karaoke
summertime.
scarf.
No, he should though.
He's the guy that wears a linen pantsuit all the time.
And he
a
wears
scarf.
a fedora and a scarf, even if it's like 110 degrees.
Why? Because I can.
Because he can. And usually he's like smoking a cigar and he's like, but no, so my dad thought for some reason, so my sister likes like bands, like at the time, this was like, she was either late high school or early college. He thought that she liked bands like Linkin Park and things like that. So we thought Creed was in the same wheelhouse. And so then he had the guy who was a server sing to her with the karaoke machine. And he's like, who was the one who was like, with arms wide open? And then he kept singing to her, and she was like, is he singing to me? And then he like walked up, he's like, welcome to this place again. And she like, her face was like not giving it. And so then she looked at him and he goes, you like Creed, yes?
You like Creed, yes?
And then she goes, no. And he's like, oh. And then my dad looked at him, he's like, sing. So then he was like singing.
So like I think that like the reason it's funny is because like they're poor guys, but like it's kind of like Nickelback in the sense of like how did Nickelback get to be Nickelback? They kind of just were like.
That was my favorite Premier Center concert. They did a good job. I will say it and I'll stand by it.
A lot of cargo shorts in the building that night, huh?
Oh, and then like someone threw a shot at him. He threw a shot glass at somebody. It was fantastic.
That was good.
He did shots the whole show.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, like so, like yeah, it's just like Creed's one of those things.
Lean into
like,
it.
You gotta
lean into it.
Lean into it. Like Daughtry. Like Daughtry, lean into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know?
Yeah.
Sorry. We always go back to Creed. Well, thank you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
We had a good time.
So now your day moves on. What do you do next?
So now I go to the Shell and we put on a concert tonight. We invite.
I'm gonna start calling it the Shell.
Yeah.
I'm going to go crawl in the
I'm
shell.
gonna go down to the Shell. You guys went down to the Shell?
Oh my gosh. All right. And give us that beautiful website for if people want to keep up.
You bet. LevittSiouxFalls.org.
Ooh, talk to me.
It's up right now. Don't forget to go to Inniskate July 7th through 9th.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Go to LevittSiouxFalls.org/Inniskate.
Help us all make history.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Correct.
This big
super
old
cool.
skateboard festival.
Yeah. And then this weekend, 605 Summer Classic.
Check it out. A lot of beer.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
And then you get to vote for People's Choice. It's the 605 Cup. And Vonnie is, if he wakes up from DC, is going to be the MC.
Yeah, he'll be MC. And we've got a couple other events going on that day, so we're going to be all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
But
Guess it's Juneteenth too, right?
yes, the Juneteenth Festival is this weekend now. So that'll be going on. Actually, you could probably hit both.
And I think I
We'll
think
see
also
you
the
there.
Peach Festival is this weekend as well.
Always a bunch of cool stuff going on.
Because we're Sykes Falls. Hey, and you did a great job. I think V lost his job.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
They're like, they talk about Creed a lot in this with this new co-host. I don't know what's going on.
We're gonna get flagged between my talking about Scott Stapp and your singing. None of that music is licensed, by the way. She's just singing it.
Yeah, it's called a cappella.
It's called art.
Yeah, it's called freaking art.
You know, you can apply at LevittSiouxFalls.org/perform.
She's already like,
Let you know if we get
Cut the
another
tape.
pickle.
can you do another? Could you do a karaoke night to end it? You could do like a rap party.
You know, stranger things have happened.
Well, thanks again, and that is another 605 show with your host Alana Snyder, and
Dan Card.
that was soft. Thanks for joining us.
Trailman, man, let's go. You are now rocking with the. You are now you're rocking with the best. You are now